Okay, good morning. Let me get my hair out of my face. Take my glasses off and hope that they don't come in mow today. All right, I have some props for us to use today. So that would be a strap or a towel and blocks or a pillow. Or if you happen to have a foam roller. So just something to elevate the hips. Okay. Okay, so let me repeat that because probably be better for everybody to hear this. Good morning. I have my strap and towel, and that's going to be for hips and the IT band. So that's that ligament that runs down the side of your leg, and sometimes when we do this you feel kind of a burning sensation, but we'll move toward that. And then I also have blocks. If you don't have blocks, a pillow, and then I have my foam roller over there. So if you have a foam roller and it's not too far away and you remember where it is, you can use that. So our practice today will include a balance where we're in the crescent pose and we twist over, and I'll lead you through it gently. So if twisting isn't what you need to do or want to do today, you can stop before you end up going too far, too fast, too soon. And then the other thing is I've kind of scooted the camera over so that you see the wall over there below the basket. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so that when I'm over here, we're going to do a bunch of things on the wall, and I'll come closer to explain it to you. So be working the serratus, strengthening our shoulders by using the wall. It's better, I think, on a wall than on a floor. So just letting you know as you're coming in to do your practice, what you might need and where you might want to position yourself in your space. But as always, we come to Namaste. Knees still a little tricky, but we're going to get it looked at on the 17th. So take a seat. So I'm going to sit on my blocks instead of on my footstool today. And depending on your knees or your back, you can sit in a chair, you can sit with your ankles crossed, or you can sit with your legs extended if that's better. Or you could even stand up if you wanted to. So coming to samastiti, coming to the moment to center ourselves, to prepare ourselves for that mind and body connection. And then you can either use those hands to help support the back or float them up in a mudra gesture. So let's root at the base of our torso, the action of Mula Bandha, rooting into the earth. And then that feeling of lifting all the way up through the spine, drawing in with the action of Uddiyana, that zipper motion, all the way lifting to the crown of the head. So the shoulders should kind of melt away from the ears rather than hold tension. And you should feel a lightness in the low back, which for some people in the morning can be a little stiff. So it depends on what time you're doing this practice. So I'm lifting nice and tall, and I'll lower or close my eyes, and I'll come to my breath. So the breathing in and out through the nose. Being aware in this quiet moment of how things are doing. How are things doing in your body? Sometimes things happen and sometimes things are great. So you ascertain for yourself, and then you bring that mindfulness into your practice, doing what you can, not necessarily what you think you should. So be aware that you can use Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breathing is that breath that moves through the throat, has an auditory component. Otherwise, I'll just remind you about those bandhas and breaths during our practice, because sometimes we really do focus and we forget about the breath. So yoga is a connection with the mind, body, and the breath being the leader of the pack. So as you open up your eyes and sit nice and tall to support your spine and stretch the arms away, greeting your day or saying goodbye to the day, depending on the time, the arms will lift and join and return into your heart. Now you may have noticed some restriction in your shoulders, but we're going to be working on shoulders today as well. We cultivate the attitude of gratitude. How nice we have this time together. So counting blessings can really help us put other problems aside. So as you come to sit, we'll do a little spinning as you lean to one side and then forward and the other side and backwards. This could be done if you're sitting in a chair, on the floor, on something else. And as you begin this motion, again, stay aware of how your body is responding. Go the other way. And I'll do just a gentle twist, but before I do that, I'm going to switch the orientation of my legs, because sitting with the same leg in front all the time, just a pattern or a habit I'd like not to establish. So you're going to have one hand go behind to be that prop and help you sit tall, and you'll just look off either to the side or a little bit behind you. Sometimes there might be a little adjustment. As you flip back center, again, use that hand behind you to lift, and then the other hand gently to turn. And returning back center, and then a few up and down of the shoulders, elevating and depressing. Since we're going to be working in those shoulders in the not too distant future, let's have them ready for what activities we might be giving them. Pulling your shoulders back and front so they go back and they go front. Your arms will move. How about we do a little funny thing where one shoulder goes up and the other goes down? This could be good for your dance moves. When you get out and dance, even in your kitchen, you could do this. And then let's make one shoulder go back while the other shoulder goes forward. And this could lead you into what you might look at as a twist, but it's still one shoulder back, one shoulder forward. Kind of awkward. But you can feel the musculature moving the shoulders. And breathe. Okay, let's do a little bit for the neck as you gently move your head from side to side. Feel free to stay if you want. So during times of stress, this is a region that generally will hold tension. So now we're releasing that tension, or at least giving it a little more space to move in. Maybe turning your head from side to side. Being aware of your inner ear issues, so if you have vertigo tendencies, moving slowly. And then bowing the head and lifting the chest. So remember to protect that neck as you bow down. Oh, tuck in the belly and lift up the chest. And down and up. So in this one, we begin to feel that lower arch in the back, the extension of the spine. Okay, let's move down into our hips. So I'm sitting on some blocks. I'm going to move off them. If you're on a pillow, you could do this on the pillow. I don't think it's very safe for me to fall off my blocks. Knock off your block. So now I'm sitting on my bum with my hands resting behind me and my knees up. Where your feet are, doesn't matter if you need to accommodate your knee or if you want to hold the feet closer together. This is where excuse me for taking a little extra time for myself as I roll over my hips. And sometimes the spine may need a little protection, so I go slowly. Maybe you feel the front of the shoulders as we continue to prepare the upper body. And then you can sit with your legs extended. So have your feet out in front. I'm going to turn sideways so you have a better view. You can rest on your hands wherever you want them. And you're going to move the feet back and forth, back and forth. So bring a little energy in our lower legs. If you've been sitting with your legs crossed, it does slow the circulation. So. And careful not to point too hard if that tends to make you cramp with your feet. And then we'll do a little hamstring wake-ups. Go ahead and bend one leg in, so the leg that's bending in could be up at my inner thigh, or at my knee or my calf. Kind of think of tree pose here. And then rock so that you can feel, even if you're sitting on a pillow, your sit bones rather than your tailbone. So rather than being this person and just pulling in the back, get yourself up nice and tall, the leg extended, the toe stays up, and then you hinge forward. So this is like really early. You may not go very far, and you may need to release in your hips to actually get to the hamstrings. So just see how it feels, and breathe. Tighten through your belly. Not too long do we stay. Switch out the legs. Sit yourself up nice and tall. Lead with your heart. Uttanasana. So that fold may be just a small crease, or you may be the person that lays down on your thigh. I can do that sometimes, so you be you. Tighten through your belly. We're going to move into some hands and knees, cats and cows. If you need a little extra padding for your knee, you can either double up your mat, or if you have that pillow, you can put your knees on the pillow. I happen to have a towel here, so I can show you what I would do if I had a towel. And it just gives a little extra cushion. You may not need it. I've got 2 mats here, but that's because I'm on a tile floor. Palms or knuckles, as you wish, but they're under your shoulder, not beyond and not behind. Not too close, not too far, just the Goldilocks. So as I place the hands, look at my knees, find the balance between all 4 of these limbs, and your toes can be turned under or relaxed. I got mine turned under. I generally look to the front edge of my mat so that my head doesn't droop. So check in with your bandhas and your breath. And then very slowly, mindfully begin your movement toward the cat and cow. Not really getting there, but just a little bit toward it and a little bit to the cow. So initiating from deep in your core. Think of right in the middle of your body. Middle between the head and the toes and the ribs and the shoulders and hips begins the movement. And as you feel response, move a wee bit more. So it makes sense to breathe out as you're tightening through the abdominal wall and breathing in on the extending of the spine. Moving at your own pace that makes sense for you as you explore. Next time you go to your cat pose, we're going to move up from that position. So stay in the cat, walk your hands back. Slowly see if you can come up onto your knees. Some of you may not, some of you may want to come standing. And then take one of your feet and you put that foot forward and forward and forward so the foot is beyond the knee. We know that as I shift forward, then my knee will be over my ankle. If this bothers your knee, you're just going to stand up and do the same thing, except the back leg will be up and you'll be on the ball of the foot. So as I push my hips forward, not just lean my body forward, it's a push of the hips Be a little careful of your kneecaps, so therefore take the hand of the knee that's behind you, set it down just for a moment so you can get off that knee and then reset it where it feels okay. Check the front ankle and knee relationship, and then let the hips press down into the floor so you're opening the iliopsoas. Now if you wanted to do this, but you say, my knee doesn't like this, you come up and do it offloaded. So whichever hand is in front of you, that's going to move toward the bent knee. So for me, right shoulder to left knee, but opposite shoulder comes across to the front knee, and just look. Come back, engage through the abdominal wall. Take the time you need as you release that tension and come back up. And if you're standing, you're standing up. Let's switch the legs. So I need to get upright, not stay rounded. Present my other leg forward and then forward some more. Pulling up, and then it's the hips that push forward. At some point, I'm going to feel like I'm rolling over my kneecap. At that time, I put my hand down, get off the knee, and then reset it. You don't have to do it that way. I just don't think I should roll over my kneecap. So it's the heaviness through the hips, and you're doing the same thing if you're standing up. So if I were to stand up and show you, you did the same thing. It's the same thing. So again, whichever shoulder is the hand that's down, it's going to move toward the bent knee, and you just do a gentle rotation. You'll see why shortly. Check your breath. As you return center, mindfully bring yourself back, and from here, let's go ahead and stand ourselves up. Try not to use your hands. And if you've got your mat doubled up, or a blanket, or a pillow, or a towel, move it to the side. So you may need to move me, because I want you to come to a wall that you can use, not something with little spiky balls. So as you're moving over there, so there's 3, maybe 4 different things we're going to do. One is we're going to put the hands at the wall and then slide your hands down. So you see I've turned into this rounded person. Then I'm going to have you walk your feet forward and then lift up your chest and lean back just on the palms of the hands. So no elbows, no forearms, no shoulders, no head. So it's hard. Just imagine I've got both feet forward and I'm leaning back on my hands. So nothing is touching except the palm of my hands. Now you must breathe. This is an isometric contraction. Let's give it a try. So my hands are by my side. I slide my hands down the wall a little, step my feet out a little, lift up my chest and lean back into the palms of my hands. I don't feel the elbow, the shoulder, the head. Sometimes you get a little shaky when you're doing this. And breathe. Go ahead, bend the knees, lean forward, and release your hands. You might be inclined to want to bend your elbows. If when you move your elbows up, you feel the back of the arm, you did a good job. So that's the isometric contraction. We're going to go move into a more dynamic move. It'll be very similar, only this time you're going to have the hands on the wall and your feet will be out. So let's just say both of my feet are out, and say I was here before. So I'm going to bend the elbows, my head and shoulders will go back, and then straighten the elbows. So my hands are pushing on the wall. I only go far back and then my elbows hit the wall, and then I push myself away. Should we try that one? So I have my hands down, I lift my chest up, I bend back, I feel the elbow, straighten the elbow. Bend the elbow, straighten the elbow. Bend the elbow. My feet are away from the wall. A bit of core, chin up. Breathe. And rest. Okay, let's try this. Oh. It's just a way to monitor how much your triceps were kicking into it. Okay, this one will be easier because I know at some point it gets to be hard. So I'm going to have my elbows stay on the wall and I'm going to lift my chest. So elbows stay on the wall, lift up my chest, and my back may touch the wall. So this stays. So my elbows are not bending and straightening. My feet are away from the wall. I move away from the wall, and I move back to the wall. Now, as you continue to do this, you may become very clear-eyed about which arm feels stronger. So we're working the serratus anterior, I believe. I know this to be a weak muscle on my left side. So you may feel that as well. I don't know. So there may be a tendency to just let the hips move out. You need to push the shoulders out. So the whole body comes, but it's leading from the chest. A few more times. Just a few more times. Okay, rest. Now when you're done with that one, that may make you feel, geez, I'm really an upright person now. I'm not down like this. All right, so we're going to go back and do each one of those one more time, just to get it in our head and learn the mechanics of it. And we'll start with the one where we slide the hands down, step the feet out, lift up, and then just lean isometrically on the palms of the hands. No elbows, no shoulders, no back, no tush, And you must breathe. And hold. And release. Relax for a moment, do what you need to do, bending those elbows. If you got a little shaky, so did I. Okay, the next one is where we straighten the elbows, bend the elbows come off the wall, the elbows go back to the wall. So the elbows have to be bent so they can go straight. So I have my hands here, I move my feet out, and then I push. Breathe. And rest. So endurance, a little bit of endurance. So this is in lieu of chaturangas. We're not going to do chaturangas today, and sometimes those just aren't available, but this is a good way to strengthen posterior chain in our shoulders. Okay, so the next one, the hands are straight, and you push away, leading with your chest. And careful you don't push away, leading with your hips. So the hands are on the wall, and you push yourself away, and you push yourself away. You should feel your chest expanding. When you're ready. When you go back, your head will touch, your shoulders will touch. Breathe. Zip your zipper, so I'm not thrusting my hips out, I'm pushing my shoulders out. Okay. And rest. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, so you can clear your mat and we're going to go into some balance work. We'll be using the crescent pose, and then we rotate into the twist, and the first option will be this, and the next option will be this, and then if you want to do this, you can do that. Got it? Step up to the end of your mat. So, Tadasana, root the feet, engage the legs, address the bandhas. Use your muscles to hold your bones up. And doesn't your posture feel better? I think it does. Find your breath. Float the arms above, join the palms together, bring the hands into your heart, bend the knees and hips go back. Stand on your left foot, let's all do the same leg. And step back with your right foot. Go ahead, put your hands on your left thigh. Wiggle your foot back, go deep, go long, keeping that front knee bent. Don't let it straighten, keep the knee bent. And you're leaning forward, because this is helpful. I'm still leaning forward, I'm still wiggling my foot back. With your left knee in front, put the right hand or the right forearm. Then the left hand open palm on your back. And if this was your option, you would then slowly turn that left shoulder back. Variation 2, hooking the right elbow over your left thigh, joining the palms together at your left shoulder. Left hand pushes into right hand and you spiral. Option 3 is you go to this position and open the right arm and lift the left arm, whichever one you want to do. Don't think, just do. Don't think, just do. As you return center, both hands come to your thigh. You're leaning forward. You're going to step the back foot up. You can go little by little, or you can just step all the way up. Raise the arms over the head as you join the palms. Hands into the heart. Hips go back, chest goes forward, knees bend. So we do the other side. I'm not stepping into a tightrope. I'm standing on the right foot. Left foot goes back, hands come down to give me some stability. Wiggle, 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 go deep, go long, go as far as you can, keeping the front knee. So your option, left hand on right knee, left forearm on right knee, right open palm on the small of the back. Then slowly open that right shoulder. Option 2, as I turn around to talk to you. Left elbow over the right thigh, palms come together, press right palm into left palm to create the spiral. Option 3, opening the arms. And breathe. Returning center, go ahead and use that right thigh. Either take one big step up or as many steps as you need. Then rise all the way up, join the palms together. Let's go back to that first side, hands at heart. Hips go back. Ground onto your left leg. Right foot steps back. Keep sliding it. So hand or elbow and palms, either one, and then rotate. Don't think about it, just do it. Bringing your hands back to your thigh. Little steps are one big step up. All the way up. Check your blood pressure. Join the palms. Hands to your heart. Hips go back. Left foot steps back and then go, 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 go. The lower, the wider the stance, the more stability you're going to feel. Hand in hand, elbow, open, whichever one you want. Listen to your breathing. Return center, use your hands on your thigh, one step or a bunch of little steps. Come all the way up, join the palms and hands into your heart. May feel your heart rate go up a little bit. So we've stepped away from the wall, but I need for you to go back there for just some stretching on it. Didn't want to do it right after we moved it because things were a little sticky. So now we'll give our legs a little rest and go back to the wall. Take me with you. So this one, my feet are at the wall. Don't knock your artwork off. And my elbows and my back of my hands are on the wall. So bandhas, and as I'm this way, I'm not asking for this. I'm not saying your low back should be imprinted into the wall. It should be a natural spine. So you'll feel your hips, you'll feel the back of your legs, you'll feel your shoulders, and you may find that you can't touch every body part. So things we're learning about ourselves. So let's try one arm going up, keeping the hand and the elbow attached to the wall. How'd that go? Still touching, and come back down. Zip your zipper. Try the other arm. Touch the elbow, touch the hand. Oh, this one doesn't go as far. And come back down. So do it again. Push it into the wall. It doesn't have to be hard, it just has to touch. And the second arm. And now let's try both arms. Zip your zipper and breathe. Head is touching, shoulders are touching, hips are touching, belly is strong. And one more. And the hands will come all the way down and rest those shoulders. Not done at the wall. The next one you're going to face sideways and you're going to reach up as high as you can. So you get the side of your body right up, scoot it up to the wall, put your hands and let your fingers do the walking up the wall. Just keep scooching in. Now for some, you may feel that your arm is in front. Got to start somewhere. Now when you come down, step away from your wall, leave the hand on the wall, and point the fingers behind you. And the elbow is straight. Bring the hands to the outside hip and slowly turn and look behind you. This should create an opening in the anterior of your shoulder. We often do this when we're laying down. I've not twisted on my feet, I've just turned away. Now, you may prefer the arm a little higher or lower so that you get the feeling here. And return center. Now I'm going to show you something a little funny. If you look at me and my arms hang down, doesn't this arm look a little longer? I need to do the other arm to get balance. Up to the wall with your other arm. Step in, reach up, get as close as you can. Bandhas and breath. Make sure you're not letting those hips fall forward or lag back. So as we did on the other side, you're going to step away, let your arm just come down the wall, keeping your elbow straight, turning your fingers behind you, outside hand on your hip, slowly turn away from the wall until you feel the front of that shoulder, maybe even into your bicep. And feel free to adjust your hand on the wall so that it gives you that feeling. And return center. Let's see, am I even? I'm pretty even now. All right, so we're gonna come down onto the mat, and this is where you're gonna want a strap or a towel for an arm extender. And we're gonna be laying on our backs, twisting to the side. So in your transition down to the mat, if you just wanna sit so that I can demonstrate for you, I'll do that. If you had a block, let me face this way so you can kind of see, or a pillow, you would put it to the side beyond the long end of the mat. So this is the long end of the mat, and it's just stepped out on the floor. And I could put it on the high side, but for me, I'm gonna put it on its edge. And it's down by my leg. It's gonna catch my foot when my foot goes over that way, because I don't want my foot to go to the floor. I want it about the height of my hip. So if you have a yoga strap, remember the rules about using a strap, be careful with the buckle. So mine's a long one, I will double it up, and I'll put it across one foot. Now, just hang with me as you watch a minute, because then you can replicate it in your body better, since I'm not there to come over and move things around. So when you get onto your back, you'll have the strap or the towel around one leg. The other leg is gonna have to stretch out, and we've kind of opened those hip flexors, so this should be okay for you. You'll put the strap or the towel into the opposite hand. So if it's your left foot, you hold with the right hand, or vice versa. And then you'll put the other arm out to the side to help anchor you. So I'm gonna lower the leg across, and I'll let my elbow that's holding the strap or the towel park on the floor, and then push my foot into the strap or the towel. And if I felt like I wanted to use that block, I'm gonna put it up a little higher, that's a little too low for me. I could rest my foot on that, or I could just let it hang in the strap. If you have a towel, it might be a little short. Two things happen, this is the important part. Push the foot into the strap while at the same time pulling the hip back. So pushing with the foot, but pulling back with the hip. When you're done, you'll bend the knee, roll onto your back, and we'll set up on the other side. Now here's a little warning for you. The people who have tight IT bands generally already know that, but the experience that you would have is a burning sensation on the outside of your knee. That tells you this thing is really tight, and you just gently move into it, use your breathing, and never go to pain, but it could be a little uncomfortable. So that said, onto your back, maybe I'll try and use this towel just to show you the option. Go ahead, put the towel or strap, if you haven't already, into your foot. Straighten out the other leg. Opposite hands hold the ends of the strap or the towel. Other arm goes out for a little weight distribution. Slowly move that leg, keyword slowly. Remember, this elbow is gonna stop you so that your leg doesn't go to the floor as that hip twists, and push the foot, but pull the hip back. So hip pulling back, foot pushing forward. And breathe. Keep your foot in a natural position. It may want to sickle in, turn in. Bandhas in breath. And then go ahead and bend the knee. Take the tension off as you gently roll onto your back. Go ahead and switch to the other side. Because I have a wall there, I need to switch to the other end of the mat. When you're ready, use that elbow. pushing into the strap, feel the hip pulling back. Keep breathing. Begin to soften the knee, move onto your back. While you have the strap on that leg, you can either bend the other leg or leave it up, and you can just hold the ends of your strap. If you have a towel, you're only going to go to here. If you have a strap, you'll be able to let your elbows come down a little more. Again, push the foot into the strap so that you're working with the straight leg. And bend the knee, a short spell as we switch the other foot. You can have this foot bent, but there's no weight on it. You can have the leg straight if you'd rather. Leg goes straight. Gently pull. Push the foot while you hold the tension on the other end of the strap or towel. Straight knee. So here's a fun one. You can either bend the knee, roll to your side, or come up, or you can push your foot into the strap and look, it gives you a free ride up. How nice. Okay, here's where you're going to either want a block, and you're going to put it on this side. You could put it on the wide side. I have a foam roller, so I'll use that. It gives me a little, it's the same lift, see? Same side, very similar. And if you don't have either one of these, take a pillow. If it's a pillow that smushes, fold it in half, and you're going to elevate your hips onto this. So once you get onto what you're doing, now if you have a block, you can lay down and then do a bridge pose and then slide it in, and it should be in a comfy spot, not in the small of your back, not down by your tailbone in what we call the sacrum. Now if you're using a foam roll, so you've got to be a little careful here. We would call this, with a block or a pillow, supported bridge pose. It's very lovely. Makes you feel so thin and trim. Now while you're here, go ahead, float the arms up and let them go over your head and see what your range of motion is for those shoulders. Continue to tighten through the belly. Feet are not resting heavy on the mat. And you feel the engagement of your abdominal wall. And then my hands will come back down. If you're on a block or a pillow, they're going to come to the floor. Don't forget, if you have a roller, they're just going to hold the roller. So we'll do the tippy toe dance. Now this one, your back is elevated, so it's real easy to overarch. So you really have to pull the belly down, almost feel like you're imprinting. And then you're just going to tippy toe. Let one toe touch to the floor at a time. We usually do this on our back, so if you say, I don't like using the prop, you can take it out and just do the tippy toes. Keep drawing down through the belly. Don't let that back arch. Now bring both knees in and you're going to feel a great sense of relief. That's okay. We're going to move into it's not a bicycle pedal, it's more one leg pushing straight than the other leg pushing straight. And we'll start more on a diagonal and then we'll work our legs down as our backs and abs can control. So I will start with one leg going out here, and then I will switch it, almost like the tippy toes, now extending my leg out and pulling my other leg in. And if you go, wow, this is pretty easy, it's not a bicycle, it's just push and hold straight, then maybe you lower it a little bit. Maybe you lower it, and at some point, you have to press down the abdominal wall so your back doesn't float up. This is not done with speed, it's done with intention and purpose. For some people, this is going to be much better for your back to elevate the hips. You still have to work the abdominal wall. If you were to touch, you would still feel that engagement. And then pull the knees in, a delightful rest. So the next one, the feet will come up a little bit, but the knees will be bent. And if you have one block, be a little careful. It might be a little short for you. If you've got two blocks, you can back them up end to end. You're just gonna let your legs roll one side a little bit with the knees together. I know my pant legs make it look differently. There we go. So I'm going this way and this way. Now I'll change and show you what this looks like with a block as I move this off and put this under. So again, if the block is too small, you feel like, it's gonna flip up, then maybe put a second block in and put them side by side. But you should feel a little vulnerable here as those legs drop, activating your obliques. Don't forget your breath. And then making your legs as straight as you can. So if you can go very straight, or if they need to modify, you're going to begin, look up at the ceiling and draw some circles. Generally a round object. Now if you find this to be easy, float your hands off the floor. Now this might be familiar to some of you who do Pilates. The difference in yoga is the speed. In Pilates, which I also teach, let's go the other direction. It's about the speed that we do this to challenge the core. In yoga, it's the mindfulness and awareness of what is working to accomplish the move. Kind of a different mindset for me. And then go ahead, bend those knees in. I'm going to go back to my roller. But you got to keep what you got. So now we're going to go into the adductors. Adductors, where are those adductors? Did you bring your adductors so we can work to open them? I've got to be careful of the walls. I might scooch a little over. So I've left you here. So usually I have you reach in and grab your big toes. You don't need to do that. Because your hips are elevated, you're going to feel much more successful with the adduction. So I open my feet into a wide straddle. Still have to scoot over. Maybe I'll go this way. And there's some playfulness that we can do this with. So you're going to find, because your hips are elevated, that the legs tend to fall towards you. Don't you think they fall towards you? Yeah. And as long as you get your legs straight, that's the objective. But I want you to play with, can I move my legs a little that way? And what does that do? So instead of dumping down into my low back, where I feel my back rounding, I move my legs away, and now my back is slightly arching, and now I get a little more through my inner thigh. And you can hold, you can do the 2-finger lock if you're the 2-finger lock person. Work for the space between the knee and the pelvis. So I think if you have something elevating your hips, this is so much more meaningful. It's easier to access, and it also gives you the stretch that we're looking for. One more breath. And then gently bend the knees. But wait, there's more. So my knees are in. Hold on to one knee and put the other leg up. Now this one is going to suspend. And again, it doesn't matter what your hips are on, but they do have to be elevated for this. This straight leg is going to drop toward the floor, but not to the floor. So I'm going to hold on to the other leg to prevent that from happening. So as this leg is dropping down, if I didn't hold the leg, it likely would touch the floor. The more I pull on this leg, the more the other leg suspends or hangs. So you want to feel the leg that you're holding out straight is heavy, not bent, but heavy and dropping. And then if it touches the floor, pull that knee in a little more. So for some people, the front of the hip is very weak. And for some people, the front of the hip is very strong. Cultivating strength in your hip flexors is important. Navigating stairs. But having the flexibility in the hip flexors is important for our posture, and so we don't pull on the muscles and all the stuff that's important in our spine. Yoga is a little more centric into the stretching of these regions. Go ahead, gently bend that knee as you take the tension off and bring those knees back in. Ooh. All right, let's move to the other leg. Up straight, hold on to the bent knee, let that leg reach out, let it hang. Is it different? Same? Again, as you let it hang, if you feel it touching something, pull in on your bent knee. Let your participle dangle. Words in your head like surrender, release, let go. Okay, gently bend the knees, putting both feet down. Take your time. So we're going to lose the blocker of the pillow or the roller by pushing it out from under you, leaving you in that natural bridge pose. So bottoms up. And then move the heels toward one another. So you're going to be slightly turned out. Your heels are almost touching, if not touching. My knees have not laid open. They're just open a bit. And I'm squeezing my glutes. Isometric contraction, strengthening our back and our gluteus medius. So articulate your spine, come down from the upper back, down through the middle back, down through the lower back, keep the knees open and the heels touching, and now roll back up, tucking the tailbone, squeezing the bum, pressing the spine up till you rise to the shoulders. Continue this pattern of rolling down and rolling up. This is not fast. Work mindfully, attentively, heels together, knees open. Watch out for hamstrings tight. Sometimes they can get a little tight there. You do this if you need to stretch it out. And last time, rolling up. Just to show the difference, spin those heels back out, so now your legs are parallel, and now come down through your spine and feel the difference. Either roll to your side or bring your knees in so you can bring yourself up to a seated position. Check in with your blood pressure. So I want you to now come sit on your pillow, doubled up, or a block, or you could sit on a foam roller. So these are forward folds. Now that we've got things kind of warmed up. Ooh, I'm sitting up here on my block. So you can sit on 2 blocks. You can sit on a big pillow. But you want your hips elevated more than maybe you would normally do. Feet are not together, parallel. So I float the arms up. How are those shoulders feeling? And I hinge forward. That's about as far as I can go, keeping my back straight. Now, if I went further, I would be rounding. So I just want to find where I can go straight and come back up. So this time I am going to stay forward. Keep your head up, let the arms drop. Now, if you find that your back is collapsing, go ahead and put the arms down or behind you and hold them together. If you don't feel your back is collapsing, go ahead and let your hands draw down. And come up. Now we rotate into a twist. So pick one of your legs, it won't matter which one. It can stay inside the extended leg or it can cross over, whichever one makes sense for you. Opposite hand holds the opposite leg. Because I'm on a block, it's going to be hard for me to reach the floor. So I'm going to use my second block back here, but you can lean back onto the mat if you need to. So I am in my rotation position. What do I do first? I sit up nice and tall, yes I do. And then I rotate, pulling in my belly, lifting my ribs up and over that thigh, continuing to stay or look, keeping my hand or wrapping into an elbow or using that upper arm as we did in that lunge earlier in our practice. So giving us our second twist. Hold the knee up or press the knee out. And return center. Sit nice and tall, arms overhead, Uttanasana. Again, either bring the hands down with neutral spine, put them back here, or grab them. This time as you come up, you're going to bend in the other knee. Keep track of your legs. You can keep it here, you can move it there. Opposite hand. Hand goes behind. Sit up very, very tall. And then slowly pull the shoulder behind you back and create your rotation. And return center. So we're going to go onto our belly for a little bit of back extension. You do not need anything to lay on, but you could lay on a pillow with your chest. If you have the blocks, they're going to be a little more towards your ribs. So let me show you with both apparatus. So this goes here. So it depends on your comfort level. I'm going to move up more toward my hips. So the blocks are under my hips, and I bring my head down. And I will lift, and then I will lower. Now that may not be suitable, so you might want to either put a towel or blanket over it, or not use it at all, or you just use the pillow under your hips. If you have this is foam, it's a little more forgiving than some of the hard blocks, so I would do the same thing. And just remember with a foam roller it rolls, so you may need to hold on to it. Stop rolling. And if you say, I don't like anything under my midsection other than a pillow, you can do it without. So don't use your hands in front. Whatever your back can do is what your back should do. Gently rise to your hands and your knees. Move away anything that was under your hips or your belly and move to a child's pose. For this, I part my knees, my hips go back as far as they want to, my arms go forward, and in lieu of anybody with knee issues, you can do puppy dog. Coming back up to your hands and knees, accommodating for any knee issues, come to all fours. Make sure there's nothing behind you. Slide your right foot back. You're going to lift the knee that's in front. The knee and the foot come up, so you lift up. Nothing touching. Set the knee down, extend your other foot back. So if you don't like the palms, they don't work for you, you can do knuckles, works just as well, even forearms. When ready, lift the other leg. As you return into your child's or puppy dog pose, coming back for bendy toe time. Can't leave those bendy toes left undone. Now, if you have some knee issues like me, you can take something behind your knee, like a towel, to prevent it from going too far. It's just that extra little protection. It may not work for you, so you may need to do the stand-up version. So I've got my toes turned under. If you say, I don't like being on my knees like that, you come up, you raise your heels, you can hold on to something just to work on your bendy toes. But they're coming a little late today. They're coming just in time for Shavasana. So I got my bendy toes working. And now I'm going to come back and sit and do a little bit of handwork today. So bring yourself to a seated position, wherever that is. I'll get up here closer to you. So hands, they're a thing. And you may have hands that work perfectly fine, and I would say that's great. Keep them going as long as you can. But those of us who have cultivated some issues over time, we need to tend to them. It may hurt when you do something, but it hurts worse when you don't. So if your hands are in good order, you still want to do this because you don't know when they're going to go sideways. So we're just going to start by opening and closing our hands, and you can just watch your own hands do this. Thumb comes to the outside, by the way, not on the inside. So you're just opening and closing your hands, and you're having the awareness, how are my hands? Maybe I didn't notice my hands have an issue. Maybe they don't have an issue, so we count our blessings. And then we'll circle through the wrist. So maybe it's the wrist that's the issue, so we don't know until we know. And I'm using my phalanges as I move my wrist. Then I go the other way. I always feel like I'm conducting the orchestra. Be attentive to my breath and try not to creep tension into those neck and shoulders that we worked today. And now you have your palms together, and they're going to flex and flex so they open up. And as you're looking at them, do they seem they're doing it the same on both? Or is one a little more available than the other? Now I'm going to point them apart and point them down. So it's very interesting how dominance plays a part. So take one hand and extend it straight out. And at the end, your fingers take a sharp point inward. Use your other hand to try and fold those fingers in toward its corresponding wrist. So my elbow is straight. This opens into my forearm as I work on wrist mobility. The more you squeeze the elbow, the more you'll feel that forearm stretch. Relax your shoulders. There's no need to hold your arms up here. Just hold them out in front so you can see what's going on. Now as you open the palm and point it away from you, again the elbow is straight. I put my hand into the palm and the fingers, not just bending the fingers back, but the whole hand. I don't just want to bend at the end of my fingers. I hold everything. Straighten the elbow and then draw the wrist into extending. And again, the shoulder doesn't have to be up. I'm just trying to make this visible. So having that range of motion, as we were talking about with your hips being strong and also flexible, same thing with the wrist. You want it strong, but you also need a range of motion from it to do the things that we want to do. And rest. So let's do the other arm. Straight out, fold the fingers in, bring the other hand. So weird, this hand, my fingers are a whole lot closer on this hand than the other one. Straighten your elbow and breathe. So today we had moments of where the heart rate may have gone up, putting forth in our effort, and then we had that sense of calm, and such is life. So we use this experience of our yoga practice to remember there's going to be times when we're just, and other times where we're, so we try and keep that balance. And now flexing the hand as you point your finger out, grab with the whole of the other hand, pull those wrists into flexion. Relax your shoulders, breathe. and then just kind of wiggle those fingers. You can like dry wash your hands. So anytime you can bring warmth into your digits, your knees, your joints, your knees, your toes, your hands, the happier they generally are, unless there's inflammation that requires ice. So just keep things nice and warm. So we're going to move towards Shavasana, and now that we've kind of played a little bit and warmed up our hands, when you get yourself laying into Shavasana, however that is, maybe we can take these hands over our eyes and kind of quiet things down a little bit, and then you can move on into whatever position or hands by your side that you'd like. So once you're laying on your back, and maybe you want those blocks or pillow under your hips or under your knees or under your head, and maybe you need a blanket because it's gotten a little burr where you are. Then you can take your hands, and now mine are very warm and energized, and then you can place those hands over your eyes. Removing the light that may be in your room or the brightness, helping to move us into that quiet space of our internal being. And then if you wish, let your hands float to wherever they feel comfortable. And spend a little time in this place called Shavasana, not requiring anything of the body, but not allowing the mind to get busy. And after a few moments resting, I will ring the singing bowl and invite you back. Let this time be yours. So as you deepen the breath to awaken the body from its moment of calm and quiet, maybe staying like you are, rolling onto your side, whatever seems to make sense. The thoughts for today are from Norman Vincent Peale about change. Change your thoughts and you change your world. There's no great mystery behind the power of positive thinking. If we assume before the fact that we can't accomplish something, we almost certainly won't. And if we believe that we can, we are much more likely to succeed, or at least we'll make the effort. We talk ourselves out of interesting opportunities all the time, when we ought to be talking ourselves into them. So thought today, if I catch a negative thought crossing my mind, I can cross it out and replace it with a more positive one. And we're all looking for that positivity with so much negativity around. So, what's that serenity prayer that says, change the things you can, accept the things you can't, and have some wisdom to know the difference between the two? something like that. Go ahead, bring yourself up to a seated position. So as you reflect back upon your practice today, the indwelling knower that said this is available, this isn't available, it's all done without judgment. So we came, we did, and we get on with the rest of our day. So stretch the arms out and up. Hands at heart, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Maybe I'll see you next week. I don't know. I hope so. You can. Namaste.